Joining me now is Glenn Greenwald, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. Glenn, so we're sending more than $3 billion in aid to Ukraine. We have no idea how much of it's actually going into that black hole, how much of it might end up in the hands of Russia. But I know there are a lot of Americans here who say, what about us?
Yeah, as we've discussed before, the question that never got asked from the very beginning of the U.S. role in this conflict is how does U.S. involvement in this war in increasingly escalatory ways, risking confrontation with Russia or just opening the coffers of our government and sending billions of dollars into, as you said, this black hole, benefit the lives of American citizens, which ought to be, I would think, the primary, if not the only question that gets asked when we think about which policies to support the United States government engaging in. That should be the question. Why do American citizens have a strong interest? I understand why Russia does, but why do American citizens have a strong interest in who governs regions in eastern Ukraine? And, the amazing thing about it, Laura, is that when Obama got asked on his way out, why didn't you do more to arm Ukraine? He said, the reality is Ukraine will always be of a vital interest to Russia, but never will be for us, and therefore will never risk a confrontation with Moscow over Ukrainian sovereignty. That's just the reality. And now you're not allowed to say that.
Well, in case people thought that, Glenn, this was kind of coming to an end, I mean, U.S. involvement, well, think again.
How long can the U.S. maintain the level and pace of this military support for Ukraine?
Well, we have the capacity to do this for a long time. The most important thing right now is maintain the unity. So far, so good.
Glenn, $800 million greenlit today, and on top of the billions already earmarked for Ukraine. But all these folks, the neocons on television, other Democrats saying this is going to be years, not months, but years. Why are they so confident this is going to go on for years, or is it wishful thinking?
It's wishful thinking. And I think the reason they're confident that their wish will be fulfilled is because they're doing everything to ensure that the war goes on forever. It seemed clear from the start that the real U.S. strategy was to try and trap Russia into the kind of war that the U.S. got embroiled in Afghanistan, where you fight an insurgency that can never end. The country gets destroyed. The people of that country suffer, but so does the invader, because the U.S. spent $2 trillion there only to walk out 20 years later as if they had never been there when the Taliban waltzed right back in. And of course, the U.S. also helped trap the Soviet Union in Afghanistan in the 80s by feeding what became al-Qaeda. And so we have this long list of historical examples where we fought these wars or where we've armed and funded groups that fought against our enemies. And usually what ends up happening is the country gets destroyed, the people suffer, people far away from the battlefield get to feel strong and purposeful by cheering it on and saying, we have to stand up to Putin. But nobody in the United States benefits except for weapons manufacturers, the Pentagon, and the U.S. security state. And that's absolutely what's happening here.
Glenn, it's great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.